Welcome into the Locked On Pacers podcast, and for my favorite time of the year, free agency. As always, my name is Adam Friedman. I'm a staffer at IndyCornrows.com. And joining me on the other line is my favorite co-host, my only co-host, the man I think with the dumbest tweet today, Mr. Tony East.
The dumbest tweet today?
That Joe Young tweet was stupid.
I was just laying out a possibility. I didn't say they were going to do it.
But then you caveated with if, when, they won't.
I said technically the Pacers could make Joe Young a restricted free agent, and that matters because his free agent cap hold is a restricted free agent cap hold now because they did the team option decline instead of waiting a day. So it actually does change things. Thank you very much.
But we both know whatever. They're going to waive his cap hold.
What?
They're going to waive his cap hold immediately or as soon as they need.
Probably, but you never know, man. You never know.
Okay. I would bet you all the money in my pocket.
That
Joe Young is not on the roster.
I agree with you 100%, but you just don't know.
I know. I just thought your tweet was a little bit like, maybe I want to say like flexing your chops that you know this basically kind of thing.
George Niang got a qualifying offer. Anything is possible.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. You never know. It's fine. This is my favorite time of the year for the NBA. So let's get to this podcast because we've got a ton of stuff right now, and this could go way longer than either of us wants it to go or thinks it's going to go, right?
Yeah, we have to say, after the Lance news, we have to apologize for the big gap in episodes, but we were just waiting on all the decisions about players to be made so we could have the most information possible to do this episode.
Yeah, it was stupid to do a podcast before Thad made his decision.
Right.
Just dumb. Like, the whole podcast would be if Thad does this. Well, like, let's wait one day and see if he does it. And so
now we know.
I think our listeners will be okay with that because now we know all this situation. We know all the cap space. We know all the moves. We can fully discuss it without any ifs or ands or whatever.
Yes, which is perfect.
All right.
There's very minimal ifs. Yes.
Yeah. The ifs are that we know they're going to happen. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Well, I mean like renouncing guys, but yes.
Yes. I understand. Let's just recap their whole cap situation real quick. Because it's that free agent one.
So actual money stuff. They are at $98.8 million between their guaranteed salaries, their cap holds, their non-guaranteed salaries, and Monte Ellis's, my favorite money on the books, Monte Ellis's stretch from last year. But because they are taking over the cap by exceptions, they are technically an over-the-cap team right now until they renounce their exception cap holds, which they will do. So they are under the cap by basically $2.1 million right now.
Okay, so on salary, Victor Oladipo, Thaddeus Young, Bojan Bogdanovic, Darren Collison, Diff, Turner, Sabonis, Leaf, and Ike gets how much money?
Victor, Thaddeus, Bojan, Collison, Corey,
Turner, Leaf. Sabonis, Leaf, Ike, add in Monte Ellis is $2.25 million, add in $2 million for Aaron Holiday. They're at like 85, right?
Yes, like 84. Yep,
84, right? Yep. So that would give them 17. No, are they? Yes. No, those salaries are less. I'm wrong with it. That's you got like something in the 70 range.
So the starting five from last year, plus Corey Joseph, Sabonis, Leaf, and Ike, right? That's the group plus Ellis.
What's Ellis and add in the Holiday too? Because that's probably happening.
Yes, that is $75 million.
Yeah. So then the rest of the money right now, the other 23 is $10 million in guaranteed for 4.
Yep.
And then you're looking at a $5.3 million cap hold for Lance, and between $1.5 million and $2 million cap holds for Trevor Booker, Joe Young, Glenn Robinson, and that's it, right?
Yeah, that's where the stuff we were just saying about, that we don't know is going to happen, because I think for sure we can infer that, Poitras will have his money not guaranteed, right? He'll get waived before that.
Yeah, unless, he didn't play last year, so we assume they took a flyer on him. They didn't want to take a flyer on somebody else.
And I think everybody assumes that as soon as they need $6 million, Al Jefferson is kaput.
Yeah, so the one question I have here, who is first, Lance's cap hold or Al Jefferson, you think?
Yeah, that's the question. It's like the order of events and stuff like that. because between Lance's cap hold and Glenn Robinson third's cap hold, they would lose their free agent rights if they cut those holds, which would make them much harder to acquire. They'd have to use cap space for a minimum contract. So I don't know what they're going to do with those guys. It's going to be very interesting.
So if I had to guess, Glenn signs somewhere else before his house. I think he signs early on. I think Jefferson goes first. I think because they're holding out a chance to get recent Lance for like a minimum, basically.
Yeah, if they could get him for the minimum, I think they would just renounce it.
Well, can't you? Don't you have? If you renounce it, can't you not sign him for so long? If there's some kind of rule with that?
Nope, you still can.
Okay.
If you waive him, you can't re-sign him. So, like, if they waive Al Jefferson, he's gone.
Yeah, obviously.
But because they declined a team option, it's different, and they can re-sign Lance.
Okay, so maybe they'll renounce Lance first, and maybe they have a. I mean, we don't know. They might have a side deal with Lance right now for $2 million on July, whatever they finish everything.
So the most overlooked thing in Pacers free agency is after they use cap space, they'll have what's called the room exception, which is up to a 2-year deal worth it's up to a 2-year deal and it starts at $4.4 million. But you can use it on more than one guy. So they could, in theory, use the room exception to give Lance and GR3 more than the minimum and give them 2-year deals if they wanted.
Yeah, I think GR3 is gone. We've had this conversation before to be off there.
Yep.
That he's not like he wants out. They don't want him anymore. He's been hurt. It's just time for him to move on somewhere else.
I think their goals are just going to be too far apart too, because he's going to want playing time and his first big deal, and I don't think they can give him either. I mean, they could give him a deal, but I don't think they can offer him as much playing time as you'd want.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then I think they might have a deal. They're going to give Lance the room because the same salary. His salary is 4.3. The room is 4.4. It's basically the same money. There might already be that deal in the books. It's just waiting.
Exactly. Yes, and that is super illegal to tamper with a player like that and have a wink-wink deal. But I think every team does it, so who cares?
Well, and I also think you cut Lance because you tell Lance we might want you back when they cut him, but see what's out there first. Tell him you wish the best for him. So he might go there is a chance a team can take a flyer on him too. I mean,
well, that's what I've seen on the internet. Like, what non-Golden State team is going to be like, yes, Lance? Like, no one.
Detroit.
Right? So, huh?
Detroit.
Why?
I don't know. They're Detroit.
Touche. I just don't think there's a lot of teams that would want Lance, given his questionable background. So,
I think he did redeem this though. He proved he at least is a quality, can be in a good locker room. Like the locker room.
And he's from New York and Brooklyn area, so both of those teams are just maybes because they could use a spark.
Yeah, the Knicks and Brooklyn stinks. Like always, they could use a
guy. Maybe there, but I don't think he would go anywhere. I don't think so.
No, I think you're right. I think he comes back at the end of this whole thing for whatever they have left.
Me too. But that's neither here nor there, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's the first thing I want to say was, so we think Jefferson is the first one, then it's probably and then Lance in order of who they push out first before to get the cap space to re-sign somebody.
Yes, I would believe. I think in order, actually, what they would do very first is they would renounce Poitras and Joe Young, or they would cut Poitras and renounce Joe Young, and then try to keep running with as few good player cutting moves as they can for as long as possible.
Yeah. So
I actually think that Booker's free agent rights are very interesting. I don't know why. It's non-bird rights, but it's not worth more than like $2.5 million. So I don't know. I don't know what they'll do with him.
I don't think it's like he's too old and he didn't want it to do.
Yeah, he was really good, like fourth big though.
Yeah, but he can't play center. He just can't.
No, he was not regular.
In a regular season, he can't.
You're right.
He was fine for a guy you have just like basically a guy you got the last minute to help your rotation in the playoffs, but he's not a guy you have all season.
Kind of got hyped up because he was just better than TJ Leaf.
Yeah, and if he's there, he's blocking Leaf unless he's in the role of not playing. So I don't see them. You just go younger there. You just go younger.
Yeah, that's
easier.
The first group to go. I think you're right. I take that back. I think him and Poitras and Joe Young's holds are the first things to go.
Yeah, because you go younger. So with Lance, let's say with everybody gone, like we think, Lance, Jefferson, Robinson, Booker, everybody, between 19 and 20 million in space. Yeah,
they would have an empty roster charge after getting rid of all those dudes, so they'd be at about 19.3 million.
That would be right. Let's go for first guy. Right in the range of probably to sign a guy like Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah, that tier of restricted guys, Aaron Gordon, Jabari Parker, Julius Randle. Something like that. I saw a bunch of Lakers fans today clamoring for their offseason plans to bring back Randall for $17 million. So it seems like Lakers fans would be comfortable with Randall in the high teens. So to get him might take quite a bit of money.
So I have a big Lakers thing, but let's talk about it at the end of the podcast. The thing I was teasing before, it's a thing we'll talk at the end of the podcast. So let's do Jabari and Gordon because Pacers have been tied to both those players, probably because they have cap space. And one
everybody, agents are using the Pacers for leverage right now.
And if you're the Pacers, how often do you become a marquee team? There's like not anybody.
Right.
So you're a marquee. So why not let your name be out there as in the
that's huge.
It's not like you have to give out contracts. So let's start with Gordon because he's probably more expensive than Parker, I would guess. I mean, I would be surprised if Parker gets a bigger contract than Gordon. And two, he's probably. I mean, I think he's one of the more interesting players on the market because he's an established player. With Parker, you're taking a risk. With Gordon, he's sort of an established player. You know what he is, and I think he was playing out of position that if you put him in the right situation, like they did with Oladipo, it could be something. You could see some success.
Yeah, they played together before, which is cool too. They have some friendship and chemistry there. And then in terms of his play-by-play, he played more than half of he played like just about a third of his minutes at small forward his rookie year, 40% his second year. And
63%, 16-7.
His third year, he played over half his minutes at the three, so he was just getting wasted there. And then last year, he played 91% power forward, so they finally figured it out, and he bloomed. So, it seems so obvious, and I think Rob Hennigan was just being dumb and trying to force him to play with other guys that they signed for stupid reasons. As soon as Hennigan was gone, they got him in the right position. Then now that we see what he can be at the 4, he makes a lot of sense because with Thad gone the next year, his age, he's still only 22, even though he was drafted 4 years ago. The fit is very obvious.
Yeah, he's very obviously a power forward. I think that's
so obvious.
Because he'll athletically can dominate other power forwards like Thad Young. Like when him and Thad went each other, he could dominate things athletically, at least on the offensive end.
Yes.
So then I hit this before our show, but the hypothetical move, I said, do the Pacers do something where they try to sign and trade for him with Orlando? So capitalize on Orlando's bird rights.
The dunked on strategy.
So Thad Young and Alif. I'd say you don't want to give a first round pick. That's probably too much, but I guess if you're picking in the 20s next year, if you think you might not be terrible, go up the 22nd pick. But that's kind of the move. Could you convince Orlando to do that? Or maybe, you probably you can't throw in Holiday for a month, but some other young player they have.
Yeah, Orlando would do it just to not lose him for nothing if they think Jonathan Isaac and Mo Bamba are the move. But you got to convince them that it's worth a sign and trade for them, getting hard capped, keep taking back Thad Young, things like that. It has to be worth it to them. So you have to send them an adequate value back. And that's close enough. I still think if the Pacers had the space, they'd rather just sign him outright, but I don't know what the move is there.
See, I think the thing is I guess he could be backup, but you don't want to play in the small forward.
He would start over Thad if they got him.
He would start over Thad, do you think?
I think so.
So first of all, then you're paying $33 million to the power forward position, which is kind of then he prevents a bonus from playing power forward minutes completely all year. No, but then you're playing Sabonis then like 18 minutes a night probably.
Yeah, they have to figure that out. It's a problem.
That's
two good centers.
That's why I think you try. And they need another player to really on this problem. They need some kind of guard, power, small forward, probably somewhere in that kind of player. And so if you sign and trade with like Thad, you can at least go after another one of those guys. You still have enough money to probably get a Barden or a Tyler Evans.
That's the thing for the Magic too. They have so much money on the books that taking back something like 13 mil is not great.
Yeah, but it's on an expiring versus losing him for nothing. Like I said, or matching as a restricted deal for like $25 million when you already have like 3 centers and 2 power forwards or whatever. They have like a big man basically, right? They've got Bamba, Isaacs, Vucevic, and then
Bismack
Biyombo. They got 4 guys who play like center power forward. Then they're going to pay Gordon the most of any of those, right?
I just don't think they will try to lose a young player just because they have other guys at that position, especially when he's probably their best player. But under a new regime, I don't really know what their plans are, so it's hard to say. He did say at the Uncle Drew movie premiere, Whatchamuhuhiki, that he's trying to get a deal done. So I don't know if that's real or not, but still.
What I'm saying is They don't lose him for nothing. They get Thad Young on an
Right.
expiring deal, which you can probably flip somewhere else, maybe, and you get a young player, a young asset, a young player or a pick.
I would think that. Yeah, I mean, maybe they'd go for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know when the pitch if I put a first round pick in that. I don't. That's sort
Right.
of maybe the line. I don't know that. And I don't know if a second round pick moves the needle enough.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
So,
interesting.
so then another player is Jabari Parker, obviously.
Yeah, I'll go here actually. I'm about
yeah,
to
go
write.
ahead.
I'm about to write about him. I think he actually makes more sense for a sign and trade just because the Bucks are actually good. So them getting a guy like Thad or like whoever who's a contributor that can help them makes more sense to me than the not good Magic, who are also cap strapped. And they don't have to worry about the risk of this young dude. And he plays the same position as Giannis. Like, there's just, to me, he makes more sense for a sign and trade. And the Bucks would, not have to worry. I think with an injury guy like that, if you can lose him for value, you're a little happier with that just because of his injury concerns. And he's not even close to your best player. There's a lot of reasons I feel like he makes more sense as a sign and trade candidate. So insert your idea for Gordon sign and trade, but with Jabari.
And without the pick, you don't give a pick up for you for Jabari, right?
Yeah, you'd probably give up a second or something.
Oh, but no, I'm saying you don't give a first round pick or a TJ Leaf.
Maybe I'd give up Leaf for him.
I don't think you have to though, because Parker's gonna.
You could just sign him though. That's the thing. I don't think you sign and trade for any of these restricted guys, because you could just sign them with space. But yeah,
I think you do because you want to clear Thad's contract to go after another player. So you're not really.
Maybe.
You don't look at it as your.
I mean, if everything's gonna work out for the Pacers, but Thad is good.
No, but I think you're looking at it that you're trying to get. You look at it this way. You look at the Thad is like Trendy's already gone, and that's what you're basically trying to do. You're trying to make him leave so you could go for somebody else. But that was the original plan, right? If Thad was leaving, it was go for Jabari, go after Randall, or go after Gordon, and then also be able to have the money to sign another player.
Right. But Thad is better than
what you're doing. Thad is better than who?
Than all of them.
No, you're right. But the idea is that you want to move on a guy who can be your long term, and Thad isn't your long term.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully that works out. They can do it next year too. Who knows?
But like with Jabari too, you probably need to keep that because what are the odds Jabari can play the full season?
Yeah, exactly. But I like Jabari because he's proved he can shoot a little bit more than Gordon. I know he's been limited because of injuries, and that makes it interesting.
He's a huge risk.
Substantially better defender, but I think everybody's a substantially better defender than Jabari Parker. So that's not really something to think about either. When he plays big minutes, he's really good. When he was 21, he averaged 20 points a game. I mean, that's insane. And he shot really well from three that year too. I like Jabari's fit a little bit better because he can be more of the stretch four that they're looking for, even though his defense is terrible.
But he's a huge. I think he's a huge
risk. Massive.
Like Gordon, like especially for the money. Like Parker's probably 7 2 or 3 of the third-year team option, but it's a lot of money to pay for a guy who has 2 ACL tears in the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's gonna have
doesn't play defense. Yeah.
It's gonna be
a lot
very
of money
interesting to see what he gets. I know. I think you can get him for less, and I think the risk is more worth it to him. I think he's a higher ceiling than Gordon.
See, I don't know. I think Gordon is in a terrible position of this team, and I don't want to shit on Frank Vogel, but offensively, he just has been in a bad spot. And I think the way we saw Oladipo blossom a little bit out of that, like he got out of Orlando and all of a sudden into like a better coaching system with a better roster. He blossomed. I'm not saying he's going to turn into that kind of player, but to play with a guy like Oladipo, who's actually this time in his prime and looking like the player he should have been 2 or 3 years ago, it'd just be a whole different world for Gordon. And we haven't seen him play like guys like that.
I would hope that would help out for him. You never know. Some guys change the location is good. Sometimes it's not. But I just like Jabari's fit with the team better. And I know they're looking for that stretch 4 because, supposedly looking for some sort of stretch 4 because of what Pritchard said. So I think Jabari fits that mold a little bit better. A little bit better. Woo.
Yeah, you're slurring your speech there, Tony. Maybe.
Woo. I'm all pumped up. I just went axe throwing. Super fun. If you're in Indy, you should go. But interesting stuff.
Don't advertise for things that don't sponsor our podcast.
I didn't say their name.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, we're both pumped for free agency. It's just like this is the most fun part. Like the next 5 days are the best part of the NBA season sometimes.
It's bad, like in a real job, checking Twitter so much whenever everything's happening.
Yeah, well, good thing it's on a weekend, so we get to kind of like
get
like a pause. Like it happened last year too, where you get like Saturday and Sunday just to like completely just be on your phone the entire week.
And Wednesday too will be off, all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's fine. It's a good time. Do you want to talk about Julius Randle for a minute, or do you want to move him? Because I don't think they go after him.
I've whined about him enough.
Okay, so we'll talk about the Lakers at the end of this because I have a Lakers idea for the Pacers. Let's move into some of the guards. Yeah, guards who the Pacers have been rumored to. So the three big guards that have been rumored to right now are Will Barton, Tyreek Evans, and Marcus Smart. I think all three guys you mentioned, just like off the top of your head, sometimes we talk about free agency, that like, those three guys that you go after because they fit. They're not going to be super expensive, and they might not be a long-term deals, and whatever they fit as a backup depot / maybe play some small forward minutes in 3-guard lineups, right?
Yeah, that group is super fascinating because I think they all have different things that make them so appealing to me. With Smart, I didn't know this about Smart. Did you know Smart only played 5% of his minutes at point guard last year and 6% the year before? Like, he's more of a wing than a point guard.
So I only know that because I was doing research right before this.
Yeah, well, I've always kind of viewed him as that because they had Kyrie and T-Row and Shane Larkin. And I like that about him because he can be a wing defender, and if they need him to be a ball handler, he's just a big utility guy who's really good at a lot of stuff besides basically everything besides shooting, which is a big thing. It's a big deal, and so that stinks. With Will Barton, I think you get the best combo guard of the two, and I think with Tyreek you get the best scoring of the group. So it's really whatever you value the most. I think Barton might be the best bang for your buck because he'll probably be the cheapest and he's not substantially the worst, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay, so let's start with one. Let's do Marcus Smart. Okay.
Okay.
so with Smart, I would say you're kind of getting a similar guy you could play the way they used to play. They played Joseph and Oladipo together. You get the same kind of concept where you play Oladipo as a point guard at the crunch time, and you play Smart at the 2, and Smart is just guarding the best wing player on the other team. He was guarding the second best wing player, relying on him to score a ton. They could probably with that.
If you throw out Kojo, Depot, Smart, that, and Miles to close the game, like the other team's gonna have so much trouble scoring.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I think that I'm a big fan of the 3-guard lineup, especially when you got 3 defending guards. That's incredible. Yeah. I think if you're playing a team with a really good power forward, you're going to be, or small forward, you're going to be screwed. But
right.
But against a lot of the teams,
it's all the time anyway.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to. I mean, Bojan can kind of hold his own a little bit against some small forwards. I mean, obviously LeBron he can't, but like I'm trying to think like who's in that mid-level of power forward. Really, the small forwards really isn't that many mid-level small forwards. Like the tier of top and then a drop.
Yeah, like Wilson Chandler level guys.
Yeah, I guess. But with Smart, you have the issue that he got what his qualifying offer from the Celtics is for $6.3 million, I believe.
I mean, that doesn't matter?
Well, it matters in the sense that he has a floor for his contract.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because it plays in the fact that he knows that like you might have to overpay more than you think because he might not want to take $10 million today because he thinks he can go back with 6.3 and make $12 million next year.
Oh, he'll get way more than $10 million.
So what do you think he gets and for how long?
15 to 17.
You think he's a 15 to 17 guy in a market where there's not a lot of teams with?
Oh yeah, he's super young and he's really good on D and he can play the wing. Yeah, definitely.
So name the team that's not the Pacers offer him $15 million.
Suns, Mavs.
Okay, but
I keep going.
No, but so how many years? 3 to 5 years?
I don't know, 2 or 3. No team can offer him 5 but the Celtics. So
the Suns are interesting. I like the Suns. The Mavs are going to tie their cap space probably in Boogie or Capella or Jordan somehow. So I think they're kind of off the table.
Yeah, Andre probably.
Yeah. So the Suns are an interesting one. I like that's a decent one.
And the Bulls maybe.
I'm just saying there's like one. I guess like my point is there's like one team and I'm not sure the Suns would do it. You're just you know what I mean.
It's the only position they need though is the thing.
Yeah, but you think I think their move is to go get a traditional point guard. To play
I don't know.
Some veteran point guard.
I think if D-Book is ball handling for them all the time, they just want a defensive guy. But that doesn't matter. Anyway.
No, but that's part of it. If there's not a market, then how is he going to get us out to $15 million?
I think there'll be a market for sure.
Okay. I think there'll be a market. I'm not sure.
How would he get $15 million? Because if the team actually wants him, they have to pay enough that the Celtics don't match. And I think the Celtics would match up to $15 million.
I guess, right? I mean, the Celtics need one of these like mid contract, like these 10 to 12 range to trade, basically, right?
I guess. I mean, they can get easily up to like $20 million of outgoing salary, but they'd have to trade like 3 guys. So
yeah, they need one of these middle contracts to be able to go for a $20 million guy without giving up another big piece. But that's a whole different thing. That's part of that. I just think that I'm not sure he gets to 15. I think there's not a big market for that. I think there's going to be a drier market this year than you think with some of these players who are not like.
Oh, I think the market's going to be incredibly dry. I just think restricted free agents to get them, you have to overpay them.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess, but you could offer Smart, 3 years at 36, and that's probably right where the Celtics might not match.
Oh, they would match right away, immediately. 2 seconds.
So that also might drive his market too. So maybe you have to give him some kind of ridiculous deal of like 2 years, 36.
Yeah, I think to get Smart, you'd have to offer like 3 for 50.
I think a lot to pay for that guy though. A lot.
He's good. He's just super good.
Yeah, but he's a pretty bad offensive player. I mean, he's not like.
No, he's pretty good at everything besides shooting.
Yeah, but that's a huge. So you're just saying that's like.
I mean, you don't need him to do it on this team. You don't need him to do it on this team.
But like, what happens in crunch time if they just stop guarding him and just shrink the floor in Oladipo? With Young and him out there, you've got
because he does a lot of other stuff like cutting and all that.
Yeah, but if you have Young and him on the floor and you shrink that's going to be a really shrunk floor for the Pacers with Oladipo out there. I mean, what worked last year was when they spread the floor completely because you had to guard all their perimeter players except for Young basically. Now if you don't have to guard 2 of them, that's kind of
also not discounting that Marcus Smart was like 15 for 16 shooting threes against the Pacers. So apparently he could be really good when he's on the court with the Pacers.
Yeah, if we get that Marcus Smart, yes, it's worth it 100%. You're 100% right about that. I was thinking that too.
That was wild. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking that like, plus teams are going to think, oh, we'll rather have Marcus Smart shoot the big shot than Oladipo every time, and he's going to take it every time, and they're going to force it out of Oladipo's hands. I'm not sure we want that.
Marcus Smart is my favorite guard of the class.
I think he's a good player. I just don't know if he is worth the $50 million contract without the shooting. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Let's move on. We want to
let's move. Let's do Tyreke Evans next.
Yeah, Evans is going to ask for a lot more money than he's going to get. A lot more money than he's going to get. He played stupid good this year, and that is not something to look over. He was like literally the only good player on the Grizzlies with Conley hurt and Gasol not as good. He shot at 40% from 3. He was great at getting to the line. He was scoring over 22 points a game. He was just not assists. He wasn't turning it over that much. He was just really good, and that's great. He probably will get a lot of money from it, but finger up in the air. He's stupid injury prone. He played under 1,000 minutes the last 3 seasons. And frankly, he's never been this good before this 1 year. So you have to wonder if it was situation or not. So there's he could be really good, and that's so totally makes him an appealing player that could be worth money, but he also could be a guy who plays 50 games and isn't that great.
He's also going to have the same choice Smart is, except even less teams. There's just not a market out there for a guy.
It makes it harder for him.
Except basically the mid-level is his floor. The $8 million mid-level from the Memphis or from maybe Milwaukee, it's his floor. So if you're the Pacers, you could probably get him for like 10 to 11, honestly.
12, yeah, that's the range I was thinking too.
So the question is years at that point, and he's one of these guys where he might rather take a 1-year deal and get back in free next year if he has a good year. Now he's injury prone, so he might just want to take 4 years at the mid-level and say, I'll take my 40 mil and basically bet a hope. And if I get hurt again, it won't matter. That could be, but he could possibly take a 1 or 2 year into free agency and get on a contract when there's more money available.
Yes, I agree.
But I mean, offensively, like you were saying, he had a great year.
Fantastic year. Amazing.
A great guard off the bench. I mean, he would score. He would just flat out score for the bench. It would be great.
His worries are more about consistency and night-to-night stuff because of he's not playing every game. He's not doing it night-to-night, and he was not this good before. So he could be really good, and he also could not, and it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at it. I mean, the last time he played small games. He played 25 games in 2015, 16, 40 in 2016, 17. Each of those years he had above a 35% three-point shooting percentage, but then the last time he played like 80 games, he had a 30.
He's missed 10 or more games every year but 1 of his whole career.
Yeah, but as a bench guy, he's probably not going to play 30 minutes like he was playing before. He'll play more like 15 or 20. You get more use out of him then.
I mean, in Memphis when he was good, he's playing 32, so he can play bigger minutes than that.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time he always played, except for 16, 17 where he was hurt most of the year. He played 20 minutes. Most of the time he's playing 30, 35, 28, 31, 30, like lots of minutes, where next year 20 max. Maybe 25.
Sure. And he went to Memphis too, maybe the hometown fling got him going.
Yeah, sure. He is from he played college in Memphis, right? He was the last class for Cal.
Yes. The last Calipari.
Yeah. So I mean, like
Speaking of Memphis grads, Will Barton.
So Will Barton, the last one, he's the one you like the most, right?
He's the guy I like the most for the money because I think you can get it for MLE money-ish.
Yeah. So what is his contract with Denver? It was they can offer him
$3.5 million.
Right, they can offer him the full mid-level if they wanted to.
They have his full bird rights. They can offer him whatever they want.
Oh, okay. So they could kind of match what another team does, basically.
Yes, unless he doesn't want to play there anymore. Yeah, well, he can not play there anymore too.
Tax. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and the tax is their biggest hindrance. I mean, they would try to trade if they could, but who knows?
Yeah, but if he's going for $10 million, nobody's going to trade for him. They're just going to sign him outright. They're going to, you know what I mean?
Right. No, trade for someone else on Denver. I mean.
Oh, I got you. I'm like,
they can get an
outright sign.
So no, they would not trade Will Barton.
So what's Will Barton's contract? 8 to 12?
Yeah, I think yes.
Probably
he'll get less than Tyreek when it's all said and done.
Probably 2 years.
How old is he? 27. Probably 3 years, 4 years.
I was thinking 2 years with like a third year half guarantee, maybe team option or player options.
Maybe. I mean, if you want to be team friendly, but I don't know if he wants to go for that.
I'm not sure he gets 3 guaranteed years again because there's not a lot of teams out there.
Yeah, who knows? It's a fascinating case. Well, because I mean, we can't talk about Tyreek being injury prone. Like Will Barton only played over 60 games once before this last year. Over 60 games. That's terrible.
No, he played 882 in 2015-16.
Yeah, that's his one over 60 games.
Oh, he's done it twice. Okay. Yeah. Well, the last 3 years he's been healthy. About 3 years, you could basically say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right in the ship.
Yeah, I mean, he's been healthy for 3 years now, putting up 13 or more points and playing 60 or more games. I know 60 is like, tell me about the benchmark where it means you're pretty much healthy. You probably had one weird injury that missed like a 10 or 15 game stretch, and then you had some minor things from it.
He shot obscenely good at the rim last year, which is awesome for someone like him. You know, that's why I like him off the bench too. He can be a slasher. He can get to the basket and score. His 3-point percentage, 37. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but the last 2 years he's been above league average ever so slightly. I like to see stuff like that. I think he's also going to be the most willing to take a bench role of the group. So I think he makes the most sense, even though I don't like him more than Smart. I think he makes more sense than Smart.
We should also point out that all 3 of these guys are basically going to replace Lance. That's like kind of what.
Yes.
And Barton, like you said,
minutes a game in that like 20 to 25 minutes a game role.
Yeah, and Barton's a good player because you can play next to both. All you guys are playing next to Joseph, but you probably want the ball in Joseph's hands more, and you want guys who can play off the ball. And Lance
doesn't turn or Corey doesn't. Joseph doesn't turn over. Please stop bring back Lance to me. I cannot help with that.
No, but that's why the Pacers, if they're actually getting rid of Lance, it's because they want the ball in Joseph's hands more and want guys who can play off of Joseph off the bench unit because that will provide more points.
Right.
That's a theory.
I agree.
That's a theory, so Barton is a good fit for that too, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd be okay with everyone in that group more than I would not be okay with Julius Randle. I think that'd be a terrible idea. But I think that I'd be okay with everybody in the guard group more than everybody in the forward group.
I agree with you. Do you have any random minimum guys on your list?
Random minimum?
Throw out
anywhere?
Minimum, like cheaper guys they could go after.
Yeah, I wrote about Ian Clark.
Because I would say they're going to need another center probably.
I do have a couple centers too.
They'll need some more wings.
So my Ian Clark thing is that when he was off ball in Golden State, he was great. Great is a stretch. He was good. He's a quality shooter. He showed that he can play off ball, and I don't think they'd have him on ball here. And in New Orleans, when he was on ball more, he proved that he could handle the pick and roll really well, and that's like a staple of what the Pacers like to do. So I think he fits in well with what they want to do. I think he can shoot really well, and I think he'd get a minimum deal for sure. I think he's better than Lance at everything, basically, except defense. So if he's a minimum guy, you're signing to be like your fifth guard, or I mean, the problem is that now that they have Aaron Holiday, he makes less sense. But I like him for the minimum.
What about James Ennis?
I also like James Ennis. I think he'll get a little more than the minimum.
I mean, I just mean those really cheap guys who would fit in the room exception.
James Ennis would be an awesome room exception candidate. He's just basically like he has GR3 skills. I'd compare him to GR3. Maybe a little worse shooter, a little better ball handler.
Yeah, I think Ennis makes more sense.
Do too. I think Detroit's gonna do all they can to keep that dude.
That's fair. So what do you think they'll offer him?
He's doing so bad.
What do you think they'll offer him?
I think the room exception would be a good offer.
But do you think there might be something in his head that says, "Oh, I want to play for a playoff team"?
You can go The Pacers are. Oh, yes.
That's
I think 2 for 9. I think. Well, he played for the Grizzlies when they were a playoff team, but I think you can get him for like 2 for 9, maybe.
Yeah, but then he get traded from the Grizzlies. So that was part of it, right? So you might want to play for a playoff team.
Yeah, he played for a playoff team his whole career except for last year.
Yeah, so he might not re-sign with Detroit. Is what I'm trying to point
Right. Oh, absolutely. I think he's totally gettable. I'm not trying to shut that down.
Okay. So what was the contract you were saying? 2 for 9.
Yeah, the full room exception over 2 years, 2 for 9 would be nice.
Okay. I like Ennis just because they need as many wings as they can get, basically. It never hurts.
Sorry, we are selling him. We are very much selling him short. This is 2014-15 Miami Heat member James Ennis, who's on the team, the post LeBron Heat. He has some experience.
Okay, all right.
I just really like James Ennis. I know I like him more than I should, but you're right. Fringe wing guy.
Yeah, I will let you do your spiel on Clark and Ennis. That was what this whole point was. You have any centers? That's the one, because if they cut Jefferson and EK, we think is hurt, right?
Yes, though we know from reports it's hurt.
Yes, so they're going to need a third center because shocker, Sabonis and Turner both got hurt last year for extended periods of time, and they were playing Jefferson. So they need a minimum center to at least back those guys up just in case. Break the Classic University Center. So who's some guys you got? You said Alex Len before our podcast.
Alex Len, he's still pretty young. He's been okay with the Suns before. He just is not part of their timeline apparently anymore. I like him as a flyer guy. Like, he could even be okay in those minutes. An Indiana native here, Tyler Zeller, could be a good fit, and he's that rebounder that apparently everybody thinks the Pacers need so bad. I do not agree with that, by the way. But I think he could be a really good guy. Kyle O'Quinn is a very good player. The Knicks are letting him walk, apparently, so he could be another guy. I think there's a lot of good candidates for the third center spot.
I think Kyle O'Quinn. I like Kyle O'Quinn. I always liked him. I don't know why.
Me too. Kyle O'Quinn would be cool. I have another guy I like too. Can I do another one? That's not a center, but he's a big man. We've talked about him before. If that is gone or something like that, or they sign a Gordon type of guy, I think a good backup forward would be Ersan Ilyasova.
Yeah, he was pretty good with the Philly last year, right? He was a pretty good fit in that playoff.
He's a sneaky good player. He can take charges really well, which is like a most random skill, but he like takes one every other game, which is crazy. Like, that's a game-shifting play. He's a 10-point-a-game scorer who can struggle from the outside and is, he knows the defensive rotations. I like him. He's good. Yeah,
stretch the floor is a big thing he can do, which is huge.
Yes.
Like, considering they're playing Jefferson, a guy who can never stretch the floor, a guy who could literally stretch the floor every time would a world of difference for their offense.
A world of difference. He would be very, very helpful.
Because the best thing to hope for a bench center is he either is a huge impact on offense or defense on one end and doesn't ruin you on the other, basically.
All right, I got one more. And then I
All right, give me another one.
Not a big name this time. Mario Hezonja.
Oh, that's a flyer, right? That's more of like
that's a fun flyer.
Yeah, I don't know if he's as.
You offer him $1 more than the Magic can legally offer him, and say, "There you go, come take it."
I just don't know if he's as like exciting as we thought when he came out of Europe.
Yeah, he was good for like part of the year last year, but not the whole year. So I don't know.
For a guy who they thought was going to be able to shoot the three really well, he just couldn't.
He cannot. No, he got up to 34% last year.
Yeah, that's for a guy who's playing shooting small forward. That's not good.
I know.
2 years ago, he shot 35% from the field.
Right.
He's a flyer. Again, it's just flyers.
He's a flyer, and he would not be expensive to be a flyer, too. Remember when they had Damian Rudej a few years ago? They could keep the Croatian sensations alive here, man.
Where's Bojan from, right? Bosnia?
Bojan is Bosnia, and Sabonis is Lithuania.
Okay, so they got some of the Eastern European thing going.
They do.
All right, so can I do my big kind of interesting theory or interesting trade?
The Lakers trade? Yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to go after this break. All right, Tony. Are you ready?
I'm holding on to my desk.
All right. So this is a kind of a three-parter. Things have to fall in place. So let's say the Lakers do trade for Kawhi, right? That could happen in the next couple of days, for all we know. They're going to give up Ingram and probably Kuzma, maybe some other stuff. Maybe, and they don't give up Ball, right? Let's say they can't give up Ball.
He's hurt now.
They decide to keep Ball, right? So they just do that straight up. They don't put in the dang kind of any of that. Now they lure LeBron at the max. Now they have to clear Ding's contract to get the other max contract to get PG, right?
Yeah, or whoever. Yeah.
They have to clear Deng. So to get rid of Deng, they have to package probably Lonzo Ball with Deng to get off Deng's contract. The Pacers keep all their cap space. They get Lonzo Ball and still have cap space, or like basically use up all the cap space to get Deng and Ball and give him a player back, Darren Collison, maybe like a $10 million guy, and they have about $3 million in space then, and they'd have Lonzo Ball on the Deng.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Lonzo is really good, but I don't think anyone in Indiana would like him.
No, but then you're building on this core of Lonzo, Oladipo, Turner, Sabonis.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I mean, and that's not out of like the realm of possibilities. I mean, that could easily happen if they can trade Kawhi straight up for Kuzma and Ingram and nothing else.
Right. I don't think they would give up Lonzo to get off Deng.
Well, they can't get George without getting off Deng.
I don't think they would like Paul George anymore. I'm serious.
You think they're not going to go Kawhi, LeBron, PG?
I think they'll go Ingram, Kuzma, and a first for Kawhi. I think they'll just sign LeBron and then give Randall big money, and then that's it.
That's an interesting take.
I know. Isn't that wild? I think LeBron's getting that back, or LeBron. I think Paul George is getting that back with the Thunder. I really do. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I think LeBron goes in there and says, I want PG, and then what do you say?
Yeah, then you get PG.
PG. So then to get PG, you have to make a rush trade. Not very much of cap space to take on Deng's contract. You can give up Deng and Ball and get a player back who can play on your team. Collison can play off ball. Can be your
Lonzo can play off ball. That's why I like him so much.
I know, I agree. But to get off Deng's contract, you have to use Ball to do that. You have to dangle prospect.
Right.
I mean, it could be the other way where Ball and Ingram go to the Celtics and they have to give up Kuzma, whatever it is. But you get Kuzma or Ball in one of these trades for Collison or for Bojan if it's Kuzma. And I think that's a decent move where you don't jeopardize your team this year that much and you get a really young player by taking on a contract that's really bad but is gone in 2 years. And if you really, really wanted to, you could stretch Deng. I know they wouldn't do it because then they have like $10 million in stretch money, which would be a $7.5 million hit over 5 years. And they could still sign a guy like Barton probably.
Yeah, something like that could be what they're after. You know, Pritchard did say he expects the trade market to be very lopsided.
Yeah, and that would be the kind of move where if he pulled that off, I would say that's kind of
the most Pritchard thing ever would be.
Well, it's a really smart move. It's a really kind of like viewing everything from a bigger picture, saying, oh, if we move this piece and this piece, we can end up with Barton and Lonzo.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I do think though having $7.5 million in dead money to Deng plus $2.5 million for Monte is basically $10 million a year in dead money, which is sort of like, I don't know if Herb Simon likes to eat that bullet.
Brutal.
But
yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting.
If you look at it as just you're paying Lonzo 17 instead of 7, it makes a little more sense.
I think there are some good guys they could get in salary dumps though.
What are some other ones? I thought that was an interesting trade because it seemed like Kawhi is going to get traded for Ingram in either Kuzma or Ball. So
yeah, if you like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, you could probably get him for literally nothing from Charlotte. If you like Markieff Morris, you could easily get him for nothing from Washington. The Heat probably have someone they'd be willing to give up for nothing. The question is, who is it? There are a lot of teams like that. The Nuggets probably are going to have to give up somebody for next to nothing. Wilson Chandler could be a good guy to steal away from them. There's a lot of moves like that.
But none of them are as good as getting a player like Kuzma.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Except I think Kuzma has his peak trade value right now.
But like Kuzma and Ball are centerpieces for your team.
Lonzo is a stud. Oh, there's no way the Lakers give up Kuzma and Ball to get off Deng. Absolutely no way.
No. You get one or the other. What I'm saying is,
right.
Ingram and somebody goes to San Antonio and one of Kuzma or Ball comes to Indiana with Deng, and this could be sort of like almost like a in the same move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kawhi and a 3-teamer with the Pacers.
Well, like you could again, I know you could see it literally on July 1 in like 3 steps is LeBron signs, or the Kawhi trade, LeBron signs, Lakers trade to Pacers, PG signs, like all within like one ticker line, basically.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm not sure they get all 3 anymore. I really don't know.
I think the Lakers are probably focused on getting Kawhi, but they're probably looking at how to get rid of Deng's contract too. I mean, they could stretch it as well. LeBron could take a little less than the max.
So bad.
Things like that, but they probably have some team in line to get rid of Deng, and I wonder if Indiana is one of them.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, we wouldn't know. They would keep it tight and wouldn't happen unless the Kawhi trade happened. But that'd be interesting to see Indiana involved in another Kawhi moving.
So Can you believe it? We made it this far without talking about any of the following names: Luke Mbah Moute, Wayne Ellington, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Elfrid Payton, J.J. Redick, Avery Bradley, all dudes we've talked about on this podcast. Trevor Ariza, all dudes we've talked about before on this show, and we are kind of low on all of them now, I feel like.
It's one because they're probably not coming.
Yes.
Ariza's going to the Warriors, it sounds like. He wants to go to the Warriors. If not, they sign with Houston.
He has such conflicting goals between his crazy money and his whatevers.
And then the rest of those guys feel like runner-up or like the second prize to not getting Barton, Evans, or Smart, right?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to – I don't know. Those
like
guys that we've talked about before.
Right, if you strike at us or then you get like KCP maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
That's what it feels like. They feel
strike out, get Rudy Gay, not the worst thing.
Yeah, I put Rudy Gay on our list we were talking about. He will probably want like 3 years at the mid-level money, whatever that number is.
More about their holiday pick because Shams just tweeted that the Blazers are not giving Shabazz Napier a qualifying offer, and I like Shabazz Napier.
I like Aaron Holiday. I'm telling you.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I'm not knocking.
Don't knock him until you see him playing Summer League.
No, of course not, because Summer League is, of course, where all the better dominate Summer League. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is, though, if they trade for Lonzo, what I was saying, then Aaron Holiday is useless, right?
Yes.
Well, he's a backup point guard for the future, I guess.
More UCLA guys, keep it up.
Yeah. Oh man, you put together the team that went to the Sweet 16. You'd have Leaf, Ball, and Holiday on the same team.
And Ike.
Oh my God, you'd literally have the whole. And they invited the Alfred kid to their. No, he was the year before. Never mind.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about Summer League next week.
Yeah, we'll do Summer League next week. But Ball might be happy playing here with all his college teammates.
Oh man, that'd be funny.
Right? Ball might like it or be comfortable.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting to see Lonzo Ball here, to be honest. It would be.
I want LeVar Ball to live in Cicero, Indiana.
Those guys you mentioned or no?
Do I want to go deeper on anything? I don't know. I think we all need to remember something, though. We all have to tamper our expectations because when you get really excited about dudes who have 29 other teams they can choose from, if they don't pick Indiana, you can't be disappointed. You have to tamper your expectations, and the team's going to improve, but it might not. It's probably not going to be with who you think it is. You just have to keep your expectations level-headed. Yeah. So two things on that. One, the last big free agent Pacers signed, or last two, would be Monte Ellis and David West. Yes.
Like West was a good signing, but not like he was like the otherworldly free agent that like. Well, he needed help the orientation, but Ellis was terrible. And two, they aren't one of 29 teams or 29 other teams because a lot of them don't have cap space.
Right, but you're deciding between all 30 teams. It's just that they don't have the offers to make you enticed. That's what I'm saying.
And like they're probably 10 teams or 8 to 10 teams now. They
have money.
But I do think they'll come away with one of if they want Barton or Evans if they really want.
Yeah, if they want someone, yeah, maybe. I mean, you never know. You just remember to keep your expectations level-headed and don't panic if they don't get some dude you love.
Because what they really could do is offer Will Barton 1 year, $18 million, and he signs.
Yes.
I mean, that's what they
I'm
could
actually
do.
all for the punting till next year strategy for what it's worth, but I get why other people aren't.
Yeah. To that for a second. The cap's going to go up $7 million next year, they think. So there's going to be a lot of space available.
And they immediately cleared $24 million with Darren and Bojan and Al being off immediately.
And 13 with that if they waive him.
Yeah. You're going to have absurd space next summer.
They have to re-sign Turner, but that's it. That's the only thing.
That's it. They can do that late in the summer.
But they'll have to replace 3 starters then, too.
Exactly. So. Yes. It's interesting.
It goes both ways. And we have to remember will Collison and Bojan have the same kind of
so much because you need these starters to come up through your youth and be cheap.
Yep, that's why Aaron Holiday is.
Yes.
And Leaf, right? That's the theoretic move. They could both be taking over by next year or 2 years.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Summer League next week, right? Or after free agency.
Yeah, we'll probably do it midweek when a lot of it's dying down.
All right, so I think we'll be back, Monday with a podcast on whatever happens on Sunday, or we'll see how breaking news happens, right?
Yeah, something crazy happens Sunday. We'll have to hop right on.
Yeah, so look for those. We'll see how next week's up in the air, just depending on what kind of moves make. If they don't make any moves till Tuesday, there might only be a pod on Monday, not till Wednesday. Just depends on what happens. I think LeBron's going to stall some things, but they might sign a Barton or an Evans early on. We'll see.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so as always, you can follow us on Twitter at Locked On Pacers, Tony at TeasNBA, and me at Freeman Adam 5. Listen to our podcast, as always, on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you're listening right now. You can also listen to it again. Feel free to give us a 5-star review. Send us other hypothetical trades you might have or other comment on who the discovered in free agency may be or whatever to our Twitter feed at Locked On Pacers, and we'll try to respond and give you our best takes. That's been today's Locked On Pacers podcast. As always, have a great rest of your day.